Okay, Marvis,
Hi.
Frank, tell us what we're doing here.
Uh, Today is my last day on male hormones. We're going to be going to Planned Parenthood in Tulsa soon, and I'm going to get estrogen and start the process of a physical transformation of me becoming a woman.
All right, how do you feel today? How your mood and your emotions? How do they?
I've got like all the emotions. Uh, very excited.
Yeah.
Uh, Scared, nervous. Uh, Part of me wonders, what if this doesn't work or anything like that? When in all reality, I know it's going to over time. Uh,
So you're realistic about your expectations.
Trying to be.
Okay.
I
Kind of
know.
hard to know, right?
Yeah, I know I'm not going to take the estrogen and immediately like poof or
Oh,
anything. It's
Cinderella.
going to be a process that's going to literally take years. Uh,
So I'm gonna get into some of these questions. Obviously, feel free to stop me, add more. You know,
yeah, of
right.
course.
Okay. I'm Carrie, by the way. I'm the other person. I'm the
Hi,
narrator.
Carrie.
I'm the narrator. Hi. All right. So we already did. How do you feel today? What are we already had that one. Can you share any significant memories or emotions
It's okay.
um, from your life that have shaped your decision to transition? I'm sure there are.
Uh, you're literally talking about everything. Uh,
How old are you?
I'm 45.
45. So we're talking, 43 here. From the time you started walking, and you could had some uh,
Yeah,
awareness of yourself.
yeah. My earliest awareness of anything gender bending would be when I would try on my mom's clothes when I was a kid, or play with girls' dolls. Uh, any chance I had to. Before they got taken away and replaced with like a toy trunk or a transformer. Which, don't get me wrong, transformers are great and all that. I
They
just
are
wanted
cool.
to play with my Barbie.
Yeah. Okay, so um, is there a specific incident though that you can tell? I mean, that probably is kind of a not generic, but a general kind of happened. You're scared. Is there? Did you ever get caught? Did your dad ever? How did your dad?
Uh, yeah. There were all sorts of times during my childhood where I wouldn't be acting masculine enough for like my parents, and and that's when it's out to the shed for chopping wood or getting beaten or
Man things.
yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
What about your mom though? Was she?
Me and my mom were very close. I never really talked to her too much about the gender bending stuff.
Uh,
I always thought that she would feel some sort of shame in me and whatnot, and then, later on in life, as she was passing, she actually came out to me as being a lesbian.
really? I
Yeah,
think you told me that. Yeah, about.
yeah, and I wish I had talked to her when she was alive,
Oh
but
no. You can never tell, and it's there's
yeah,
nothing wrong with you trying to preserve an already good relationship, you know,
yeah,
nothing wrong with that at all. All right, so let's see.
hey, Lumpy.
How was your understanding of your gender identity evolved over time? How has your
Pretty much completely. As like as a child and a teenager, I strived really hard to be masculine and tried to fit myself into that masculine mold as much as I possibly could.
yeah
Part of the reason why I joined the army actually was to like assert my masculinity or try to become more masculine, and that put me into some very dangerous situations and
Germany? Yeah,
whatnot. Yeah, I'm not going to go into all the details of when I was in the army or
but
anything like that. Uh, and then there was a gradual transformation. I lived in Mississippi for 20 years and was in the closet pretty much the entire time.
You should get a medal of like, some congressional medal of honor or something, just for surviving in Mississippi that long.
I know, right?
Really should.
And then it was around COVID where we were all locked inside. I started just for the fun of it dressing in women's clothing. Because we're locked up anyway, and, I decided, if I'm going to have a hobby or try to express myself or something, I'm going to try doing this. Started with just wearing, like, fishnet stockings underneath my pants, and it was an amazing confidence boost, like, walking around town with that just underneath my clothing, thinking, I've got, like, this kind of sexy superhero secret that,
Exactly.
like if I got in a car accident or something, boy, this is going to be interesting at the hospital.
What is it about knowing something that other people don't know that makes you feel like, ha?
I know, right? Well, it gives you a certain amount of power.
Absolutely.
And it allows you to reclaim part of yourself.
Exactly. I never looked at it like that before. Okay, so it says, what are your hopes and dreams for your future as you begin HRT? What do you expect for this to happen? And I was going to ask you this more specifically. Is it to find a partner? Is it just for personal,
I've been in pain my entire life, and I want the pain to stop.
Personally.
I've been through enormous amounts of emotional turmoil. And another thing is, when you have this and you're trying to put on a masculine facade when that's not you, it means that nobody ever really actually sees who you are.
Right.
So I've always had problems with developing close relationships with people, be it romantic or just friendship.
Right.
So I've really spent an enormous amount of my life very alone. And
Very lonely.
Human beings are social creatures, and that adds to your depression that already exists from not being able to express yourself, and it just compounds. And it's a devastating way. And like the thought of like finding a partner and getting a house and having a picket fence and 2.5 kids and things like that is so far away from where I'm at right now. Right now, I just want the pain to stop, and I want to be at peace with myself. It's fine. It's fine.
I just want to make sure it doesn't keep going. There might be a person outside.
Dog!
Hey, come here. Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, yeah, there's 5 dachshunds in the yard, and they all like to bark a lot, so we apologize. We apologize for that. Okay, so mostly it's personal. It starts... Oh,
It absolutely is personal.
what's that Man in the Mirror song, right? You gotta start with yourself before you can help other people.
Yeah.
So that's... Yeah, so that's... I get you. It's so far away from, what's gotta happen first, which is a year or two of taking hormones to become a woman, completely transitioned, What challenges do you anticipate facing during your transition, and how do you plan to overcome them?
I think the emotional changes are going to be kind of difficult at first, because as a man growing up, I was always taught that I was only allowed to show basically 2 emotions, which is anger or stoic indifference. Nothing else. No happiness, sadness, or anything like that. Me, if I were to cry or anything like that, that would get me yelled at, hit, beaten, put in a sack, hit with reeds. I'm kidding about the last one. It wasn't quite that bad, but
It's okay. You can throw one in there
I didn't get the Krampus
throw it
treatment.
in there for dramatic interpretation.
Yeah.
We're just trying to make it interesting. Okay.
Hey, you gotta have fun with it. This is an interesting, weird experience.
Okay, so say someone...
I didn't even realize it until just now that I'm wearing a pink shirt.
To me, it looks orange. So,
Okay.
so let's say you're out there you're in the middle of transitioning still. Might be a month, might be a year. Who knows? And someone misgenders you. How are you going to handle that? Or is it how the misgender is?
I don't care so much if someone misgenders me or not. What does worry me is if I'm in public and someone misgenders me and it puts me into a situation where I am now no longer safe.
Right.
As far as the pronoun thing, you can use whatever pronouns you want with me. Whatever pronouns you got lying away, toss them in my direction.
Yeah.
Just as long as you're being respectful. But if we're in public or something and I'm obviously trying to pass as a woman, misgendering me then can be a life or death situation for me.
Right. I got you. How long do you anticipate it'll take before you're like, no one's gonna know I'm, you know what I mean? No one's gonna know I transitioned. I'm just
That's
a female.
a goddamn mystery, Scoob.
You're right, it is. I might as well ask you where God came from, huh?
Yeah, it's gonna vary with everyone and the amount of time and effort and work you put into it, and what your body does as well. I mean, I've got a very large frame. It's going to take a while to willow this down into something more feminine. Definitely going to be going through what I call the ugly duckling stage.
Yeah. So that's somewhere in the middle. I don't know why I said 2 years. Seems like okay after 2 years. It's some benchmark I saw on here.
It's like 2 to 4 years. It really just varies by person though. And I don't want to guess or have a bunch of assumptions that I build up in my own head because I'm setting myself up for disappointment and failure.
The realistic approach is probably safer than the unrealistic approach, I guess, which is everything's going to be just fine and perfect. But it's Oklahoma, so it might be a little easier than it would be Mississippi or Kentucky.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Go.
So, how do you overcome them once someone misgenders you? Are you gonna try and be funny about it, or it kind of depends on the situation, I guess.
It completely depends on the situation. If it's someone just making a mistake, which happens, just correct them and maybe laugh it off. If it's someone being an asshole, that really depends on the situation.
If somebody really pays attention, you can tell. It doesn't matter. But if somebody goes out of their way to make sure that even though they can tell, and it doesn't, they want to make you feel uncomfortable because they're assholes. But hopefully there's not a lot of that here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, excuse me for fucking existing.
I know, right? But, okay. This is a side thing. How do you... Your sexuality, is it tied to your gender at all? Or is it just completely...
No, I'm pansexual. I'm attracted to men, women, and trans people. So, yeah, you're all in danger. No.
Ow! Bounce again.
I don't see it changing my sexuality at all. It's possible. I read about some trans women who've gone on hormones and then discovered, I like men now.
Yeah.
I mean, I already like men. I might like them more, might like them less. Who knows?
But whatever it is what it's supposed to be, right? Is that how you're...
Yeah. We'll see. Okay. Hey. Sorry, guys. We got Needy Dotson here.
Needy. All right.
Dog.
Sit there. Okay. Let's see. How has your support system, including friends and family, reacted to your decision to transition?
My family, my blood family has completely abandoned me. They're not talking to me, not returning my phone calls, emails. Which is a real shame because I always loved my sister very much and wanted her to be proud of me. I don't have it written for, and I didn't do anything wrong.
No, you didn't.
You know, and over the past couple of years, I've weeded out anyone online or in person who would, cause me a bunch of negativity.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah,
Can we pause that?
yeah, I think it's. No, it's fine.
Hey,
Okay, so we talked about your. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
we're back. We had barking Dotson. Sorry about that.
Ooh,
So
lose your
annoying.
head. So you said how your family's reacted. Talk about your friends a little bit.
I've lost a lot of friends. Coming out. Most of them just didn't have anything to say. Just kind of disappeared. I'm surrounded now by people who are supportive and who aren't going to say anything negative or anything like that. I mean, obviously, if I'm doing something self-destructive, my friends are going to step up and say something, as they should.
Yeah.
But I'm not friends with anyone now who's going to say anything to me, other than maybe my friend Aaron back in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't really want to name names or anything. I'm not going to use his last name. I don't want anyone getting in trouble. He doesn't get the transition thing, but at the same time, he wants me to be happy, and he feels if this is what I feel like I have to do to achieve my happiness, then I should go for it.
So you just bit on the magical question, which is, if people know you before it happens, somebody like him who has no real need to accept that in his life or want that in his life or understand it, but he still wants you to be happy and be friendly. So his ignorance is almost, made better by the fact that he still accepts you as a person.
Yeah, he's inside of kind of like a gender box and doesn't quite understand why a man would ever want to be a woman or vice versa.
Is he young?
Yeah, he's about 10 years younger than I am. And he's religious too, which I think has part of it, We still have one Dotson out here. Hey, Lumpy.
That leads me to my next question. So, the group of supporters that you have now are from what, like the temple or something? That thing that's funny.
I have a bunch of friends from the Satanic Temple who are very supportive, and other friends all over the world online, including, like, believe it or not, some Christian pastors. There is an enormous amount of negativity out there still, though, towards trans people. And I think it's being amplified now, partially because the Republicans won their stupid abortion thing that they wanted and got Roe versus Wade repealed. So now they need a new wedge issue to divide Americans to get us to fight. And trans people have been the
anything that but anything that makes having babies lessen being gay, trans being trans. It means they're like trying to put a stop on the birth rate, but then I guess they took too much out, and so they're trying to get
that's the
put
thing,
it back.
I can still have babies after
exactly.
transition.
Exactly.
It's not like my equipment's not going to work or anything like that. And even if I decide to have bottom surgery, I can always have my sperm frozen.
So bottom surgery means taking it all, the bits and the...
That's where you take the penis and turn it into the inverted taco.
Oh, yeah, okay. I've seen that. But it's kind of for looks, right, though? Or no? Work?
Yeah, it's it's a hole, it's got the sexual pleasure.
It's got nerves and stuff in there to make it come alive.
Yeah, it's not a surgery that I'm thinking about having or anything like that. I'm mainly after the emotional effects of the estrogen, and for me, it's mental health medication that's going to have some gnarly side effects.
Indeed. At least, it's going to make you softer. When women transition to men, it's so opposite. You've been around, I'm sure they get very angry, very hard to get along with all of a sudden. So what changes are you most looking forward to experiencing as you start your hormone replacement therapy?
I'm looking forward to the emotional changes most of all. The softer skin, hair thinning out, tits would be nice. Yeah, boobs are two of my favorite things, so it'd be nice to have some.
Absolutely.
But mainly it's the emotional changes that I'm after. I want to be able to experience long-term happiness.
Do you think the hormone levels in people who are trans, you think they're like normal people's, or do you think they have an elevated or an underneath amount of either or? As I feel like I have more testosterone than probably most girls do.
I don't know enough about human biology to be able to answer that
No, it's just
adequately.
An opinion question, I guess, more like.
Yeah, but I don't
based on the knowledge you already have.
I don't want to throw my opinion out when I really don't know what I'm talking about.
I've been thinking about that for a long time. It's hard to do research on that when you don't have a chemistry or biology degree. Just from asking people. Okay, what advice would you give to someone who is beginning to explore their gender identity?
Don't be afraid to do it. Maybe start out with, I'm talking to males here. Maybe start out with getting some women's underwear or some stockings or something like that. See how you feel wearing them.
Right.
You might be surprised at how comfortable you feel wearing them.
Right.
And I mean, if you're not comfortable wearing them, that's acceptable as well and completely valid. Go commando. It's fine.
I don't wear underwear. I don't know how long it's been since I didn't. Years.
We just learned about Carrie's underwear.
I don't wear them. It's just a wasted bit. Well, okay. Well, I know, right? How do you plan to document and reflect on your journey through this transition process? I think it seems pretty obvious.
Yeah, we're doing that now. Also, I've taken lingerie photo shoots for more than a year now. And I plan on continuing to do the lingerie photo shoots probably once a week. And I'll do the same thing I've always done with that, which is put them on Facebook.
Ow!
Yeah, as a...
Get that OnlyFans club going and make some money. or no, maybe.
I don't know how many people would be interested in the OnlyFans. I tried to keep it tasteful.
Somebody for everybody.
Yeah.
You think not, sniffing underwear or being shat in the mouth. Surely that guy, John McAfee, surely he's the only guy that wants women to shit in his mouth. But turns out, there's a thing. That's a thing. It's a whole vibe. So.
Yeah, I used to live in Germany. I know.
Yeah. Good. Okay. You want to add anything else? We're getting ready to leave here in what, a couple hours?
Yeah, a couple hours. We're going to Planned Parenthood. And assuming everything goes well, I'll be getting my titty Skittles.
So
today.
People who are going to be watching this, hopefully lots of people, are we going to do this every day, or when should they look back for next check-in?
I think like once a week it would be good. I think once a day would be way too much.
Maybe a little too much. Maybe 2 or 3 times a week, though. Every other day. Or
I'm thinking once a week.
Or maybe as your transition happens, if it's fast.
How about once a week, and if anything pops up,
Right, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, guys, I think we're gonna make it the end of this.